Hey folks, today we're taking a look at my signal chain. A ton of people have been asking how I record stuff that I record in this sort of environment. And yeah, it's relatively simple and relatively straightforward actually. For most of my guitar music, I take a guitar, in most cases it's this Chapman M01B. I plug a standard jack cable into it. Well, it's not a standard jack cable, it's a cloth jack cable, so it's epic. I plug this epic cloth jack cable in, and after we do this, this goes through some magic. Let's take this phone off the stand. It goes through the Headrush Gigboard, which is amazing and the source of all of my sound. And then I run through a DI box, and this DI box runs through two phenomenal cloths XLR cables into my Tascam 16x08, which is like an audio interface. That goes via USB into my laptop. It's relatively straightforward to use Reaper if you've never seen it. This is Reaper on two screens because it's just fancy like that. If you want to add tracks, you can just click them in, and every track is just a track. Like, it's not a MIDI track or an audio track or anything like that. I can assign what it will be in the future, which is kind of cool if you ask me. So yeah, that's my guitar signal chain. It's really all that it is. It's just a couple of cables, nothing too fancy. But this is the one that we're hinting at right now. This is my vocal signal chain. That's my RØDE NT1A, and that goes through a regular old cable. I think I actually soldered this one together myself. And that too goes into a channel on my Tascam 1608 and then gets routed into Reaper or into Ableton. Now, for the recordings that I do here at the desk, I also use this RØDE M5 as sort of my talking mic. Usually, this is why we're on the phone at the moment, so I can show you all of this. And yeah, that picks up my room sound usually and me talking. And also the guitars in the room are mostly recorded by that. So that's the guitar music sort of thing. Some of you guys may know this, some don't. I have a hip-hop project in German. It's just German rap about funny stuff like bars and drunk people at said bars. And I've been getting into beat making a lot, actually. Years ago I bought this Launchpad, but only recently I've been getting into Ableton, really, and making beats in Ableton. I've been building beats in Reaper as well. Wouldn't advise it. It's a bit more clunky than Ableton is. So I build some of the beats in Ableton, and the other beats I've recently, as you might have seen in the short, I've bought a SP404A. Put that back down. And for now, my Ableton beats run on their samples, and I can manipulate them in real time and live, and then just export them or resample it to another pad to record it. Or, as I have it set up right now, this is the most epic overkill of all times, I swear. This setup right here is a splitter, or two Behringer splitters, and underneath this is the Behringer X18. Yeah, that's what it's called, X-Air 18, I think. And this SP unit runs into, at the moment, via the headphone out, into the first two channels on my Behringer X18. Then I have one channel of guitar and two vocal mics. That's these SM58s right here. And I control all of this via the very old iPad 2 that's sitting right there. And here's a bunch of anarchist stickers. And that's a Zoom handheld recorder, and I sometimes use that sort of resample my my beats that I made in the sequencer on the SP404, because as many of you know, the sequencer on the SP404 isn't all that great, and it certainly doesn't allow it to be resampled onto a single pad, and this way I can just record it out externally on the go and just sample it back in and do more stuff with it. Yeah. And at the moment, this is so sick, this live rig has been set up for a rehearsal that I did with the other guy in the hip hop project, and we just ran through our live set once or twice yesterday, and I set everything up as if we were performing live, meaning the stereo out from the Behringer X8 are plugged in into my Tascam, and then we recorded the session in Reaper just to see if our live set actually sounds pretty decent, and it does actually. So yeah, kind of cool, pretty stoked on that. And those are pretty much all the ways I make noises in here. It's nothing really fancy. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. Y'all might have seen this Tascam, this Tascam thing. That's the interface, and I've wondered what this is. This is a TC Electronic G Sharp. It is a phenomenal delay and reverb rack effects unit, and I have it plugged in into inserts on the back, and I can use Reaper to route external sends through outputs on the back, and then plug it back in into inserts 15 and 16 or something like that. And yeah, I sometimes use the reverbs and delays on this unit when I need something very specific. Because the unit allows me to get a lot more hands-on, and it gets phenomenal reverb sounds for plates, but also like lo-fi delay and vintage phaser sounds and stuff like that. It's an epic thing, and if you can pick one up, they're pretty cheap, usually used. Like, you can get them for anywhere between 30 and 90 bucks, I think, if you get a deal on them. And yeah, they're absolutely worth it. So that's that. That's basically the entire setup. Oh, and the monitor speakers are the Presonus Sierras E5, which is fine. They're nothing to write home about, but they're fine. Just yeah, pretty good. All right. If you have any other questions, like how I set up rigs on the Headrush, or how I use the Headrush to play live, or anyways, that's that. Hope you liked the video. Yeah. Leave a comment down below if you need anything more. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're halfway to 1,000. And if we can crack it this year, I'll be super stoked. And if not, I'm pretty sure we'll make it next year. And then at some point, maybe I'll even start uploading videos regularly, because y'all guilted me into it. All right, anyways, bye. I completely forgot to mention this thing. This is a MIDI keyboard. It is actually a pretty decent synth, but I never use it as that because I'm not all too versed in synths, really. I've been exploring synth a bit more recently, and I'll be doing some videos on synths pretty soon, I think, because synths are fun. And whenever I explain something to anybody else, I usually get a deeper understanding of what I'm actually saying. So yeah, that's that. And this is just another USB device in my setup. So there's like a USB hub. Actually, I have two USB hubs running on the same computer, and to connect all of the USB devices. It's just plugged in by USB, and it turns on when I turn on a computer, and then it sends a MIDI signal. Sorry, and it sends MIDI signals to whatever DAW I prefer to use it in. I mostly use it for like orchestral stuff on Reaper with like a Labs plugin or something like that, or in Ableton. I usually don't program drums with it because I have the Launchpad for that, and it's just epically better to program drums on the Launchpad than it is to program it on keyboard keys. And now with the SP is just amazing to program drums, especially like hip hop, boom bap drums, just heavy hitting, kind of unquantized, really sloppy beats. It's just great. Anyways, that's the setup in its entirety. Thanks. Woo!